we're here with Grey Wolf. We're in Sunset, Hollywood. We're in front of the CNN headquarters. And Grey Wolf, I was going to ask you, why did you choose CNN to protest for I Don't Know More?
We began our first protest at the Canadian Embassy in downtown Los Angeles, and that was pretty successful because we did get a meeting with the Canadian Council to discuss the issues going up in Canada. But we noticed that event after event, even if they were big events like the one that we attended up in Sacramento, then there was the one we attended in San Francisco, nobody ever came out to, there was no media whatsoever, even though we contacted media, and Sacramento was a big event. So we started realizing that there was a news blackout on anything Idle No More. And this, I don't see it in any, I've never seen it on MSNBC, on CNN, or on Fox, even on Fox News. So we are being blacked out for some reason. And I think the reason is because the Canadian government is not happy. So the Canadian government has decided to black us out, and the US media is doing the same thing. So we're gonna force it on them. So I figured, what better place than in front of CNN?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I noticed, like, if you Google I Don't Know More, there's been like other media outlets worldwide, they cover I Don't Know More, like in for example, England, Australia, New Zealand.
Yes.
And right here in the so-called US.
In the North American hemisphere, we're not getting any coverage whatsoever. Not in Mexico, not in the United States, and not in Canada. Yeah. So that's the upsetting part, because this is very important. Yeah. People need to inform themselves on what we're protesting, and when they do that, then we can move on. Then we'll have more people joining us. See?
Exactly. So hopefully, I mean, like you told me today, like somebody came down from the CNN office, said they were going to take pictures. It's almost 8 o'clock. The protest started at 4.
Right.
It's almost 8 o'clock, and they haven't showed up. So hopefully they follow through on what they said, or if not, it's just another BS.
If they don't, it's almost expected.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for quite some time. I've been doing this since I guess January is when we first started, and we expect no coverage. We expect it already.
Yeah,
no matter how big our event is or small, we're not going to get the coverage. They don't want to cover this.
They have their little screen here. They're showing their reports. Everything I see is just like celebrities, irrelevant stuff.
And things like environmental issues and like trying to breathe clean air and drink clean water, we're not going to worry about that because that's not important. Today I think it was like 90 degrees here, and this is in the middle of winter supposedly, and there's no global warming. So we got to start waking up to these things. We really have to start waking up.
Okay, thank you very much for your help.
Sisters up in Canada, we've been in the struggle since going about 2 months now, maybe more, and we set up in Atlantic, in East LA, and near East LA College, and what we want to say is that the majority of the people here, falsely are called Hispanic and Latino. But in reality, we are an indigenous people. Hispanic and Latino just basically like calling a Jewish person Germanic Jew. We bring this information to our people. We talk about the connection between our northern brothers and sisters, our sisters and brothers down in Tawantinsuyo and so-called South America. We're talking about unity here. We're talking about the indigenous people of this continent. This continent has been occupied for over 500 years. We are falsely called which falsely is called North America, South America, and Central America. In reality, it's Turtle Island, Semanawak, and Tawantinsuyo. We are here in front of the colonizer news network, CNN, which denies the fact that this is an occupied land. We're falsely called America. We're bombarded every day with white faces and Spanish network, Univision, Gusanovision. The English network is also pushing their agenda. They're trying to convert the indigenous people of this continent. Eventually, this slow motion genocide trying to turn it into generic white people. That's basically the bottom line. That's why they don't want to come out here and do real news, because that's not the benefit to the colonial powers that control this world. And these colonial powers are not brown, they're not indigenous, they're not black, they're white. We gotta put that out, because that's a fact. That's a reality. That's what's going down in Venezuela and all these countries. That's why they take down all these indigenous people. They become leaders because they're afraid that eventually, in the masses, this whole continent is going to wake up. The survivors of genocide, because we are the survivors of genocide. For 500 years, we've been under control. We've been under control of the forces, the Spanish forces, the English forces, the Portuguese forces, and you name it. We are under control. We've been fooled. We've been duped. Our true identity of being an indigenous people has been taken away from us. Right now, we are, as far as the people of so-called South America, Central America, and Mexican people, and so-called Native Americans are divided by this colonial borders, and we are falsely lumped in as Americans now, or South Americans, or Central Americans. We gotta wake up. We gotta wake up as an indigenous people. We gotta talk about unity on this whole continent. Remember, this continent is not America. We're not Native Americans. Sadly, we fall into these categories that are pushed on us by who? By ourselves? No, by the colonial powers. The colonial powers that are still colonizing our land. They're here, they're exploiting us, they're taking our wealth, they're taking our resources, and we are like little sheep just following. So this is something that's got to be heard. It makes a lot of sense why they don't want to cover this, because they don't want to cover this because we're waking up. We're waking up, and this is just the beginning of I don't know more. And we got to bring more people into this. We got to reach out to the masses.
Wake up! Go back to Europe! Skinhead!
See, that's another person that's bothered because we're waking up. Remember, you're not going to hear this through CNN. You're not going to hear it through the other one, Caucasian News Network, MSNBC. You're not going to hear this, sadly, even through KPFK. KPFK does not want to touch this. Hey, what more of a struggle here than talking about I don't know more? What more about talking about colonialism in our homes, in our land, in our communities? That's colonialism. Talk about that. Thank you.